So the Chinese rod system is similar to our base system. It's base 10. We have divided into two different arrangements. The first one is called the vertical arrangement. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that is the vertical arrangement. It's the vertical arrangement. So I have 1. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 7, 8, 9. Okay, so that's the vertical arrangement. That's vertical arrangement. So that's vertical arrangement. Then there's now arrangement called the horizontal arrangement. Horizontal arrangement. Horizontal arrangement. Then we have horizontal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. Then, in terms of, because similar to our base system, base 10. So for the vertical arrangements, it's an even power 10. Even power 10. So we start with 10 to the 0, 10 to the first, sorry, even power 10, 10 to the second, 10 to the fourth, 10 to the sixth, so on, so on. That's even power 10, okay? In terms of place value, you have to write in that number. So for horizontal arrangement is odd power 10. This is even power 10. Even power 10. Power 10. Now, odd power 10 starts with 10 to the first, 10 to the third, 10 to the fifth, 10 to the seventh. So let's say 10 to the first is 1, 10 to the second is 100, 10 to the fourth is 10,000, 1 million, that's a 10 place, 1,000 place, 100,000 place, 10 million place. Okay, you want to write it in terms of place value. Okay, now let's say that if I would like to write this example here. Let's say I want to rewrite. And for the Chinese rod system, if there's a space, this is called 0. Okay, there's no 0 symbol in this case. So let's say example. I have, let's say example. So let's look at example. Example, I have, let's see example. So I have 12,462. We have to write that into a Chinese, ancient Chinese rod system. You have to write into a Chinese rod system. Okay. So let's look at the place value again in terms of power, even powers. we know that this is 10 to the 0, 10 to the first, 10 to the second. Let's try a few back. Let's say example. So 12,742. Okay, let's say 10 to the first, 10 to the 0, 10 to the first, 10 to the second, 10 to the third, and 10 to the fourth. 10 to the fourth, okay. So 12,000 to 10,000, 12,742. Well, we know that 10 to the fourth is even power for 1. So that's a vertical line. I write a vertical line here, okay? And 10 to the third, that's for 2,000. So that's for horizontal line. Horizontal line. Okay. Then 600. 600 is a 10 to the second, so that's a vertical line. Okay. Then I have 40. So 10 to the first, which is horizontal line. So 4 is horizontal. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then 2, you go back to vertical. 1, 2. Okay. So this is example of that. Okay. So any question here? Comments on how to write it? Okay. Let me do a few examples from the lab. Okay. Few examples from the lab, so you can start it. That's a few examples of that. Okay. So let's try A, small a here. We have 3, 7, 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Well, based on the number given here, we can rewrite into a all power equal power, okay, of place value. So I know that this is 10 to the 0, this is 10 to the first, 10 to the second, 10 to the third, right? So which means that's 3. This is 7. 3,795. This 190 and 5 here. Okay, so that's the answer. Okay. So any question on this one? Comments? Okay, let's try another one. I'll try. If there is a space, that's a D, right? Example D, okay? So if there's space, if there's space, then there's 0. So let's call D. Space, okay? Let's try this one out, okay? So big A and D. Let's say D have A, small d, we have 3, 7, there's space there, 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's 6, okay? So again, if there's space, then you have to insert the 0 there because there's no space in a Chinese rod system. There's no space there. So I can say This is 10 to the 0, 10 to the first, 10 to the third, no, sorry, 10 to the second, 10 to the third, 10 to the fourth, right? So that means this is 3, stands for 3, so that's 7, and space means 0, so that 1, 2, 3, that's 9, and then this number represents 6. So the answer is 37,096. We want to write into our number system. Okay. Question here comes. So I let you do C and D. So that's part of your lab to put it in online. Okay, let's try B. Let's try B, okay? Let's try B. Okay, let's try B. B1. Right, B. So B1 you have 2,763. You go back to place by so 10 to the 0, 10 to the first, 10 to the second, 10 to the third for the 2,000, that is in a 1,000 place, right? And based on the two arrangements for the Chinese rock system, we can look at and we can write for this number to a Chinese rock system. Okay. So for 2, we know that in a 1,000 place, that's odd power. So that's this horizontal line. Okay. For 7, I have to use the vertical line because it's 10 to the second, that's even power. So that means 7. And for 6, 6 is 10 to the first, which is, so in the odd power, 6 is, and 3 is vertical again, go back to the even power. So that's the answer for me. And the question here comes, okay, let's start with the one that has 0 digit. We can try into the Chinese rock system. Okay. So start with B again. We have, in this case, it's number 2. Okay. Number 2, I have 38,407. So we know that it's 10 to the 0, 10 to the first, 10 to the second, 10 to the third, 10 to the fourth. Okay. All right, make sure my camera is taking it. Okay. Well, let's look at here. 10 to the 4th for 3, right? Which is a vertical line. So vertical arrangement. This 3 is 1, 2, 3. 8 is 10 to the 3rd. That's 8,000, which is in a horizontal. Okay, 8 is 1, 2, 3. There's a space there because not space. Sorry, just 400. 10 to the 0. So we have a vertical line, a vertical arrangement, and 0 is going to be a space in Chinese rock system. So we go back to a 7 here. Okay. Any questions in your comments? So this is the answer. Okay? That's the answer. Okay. Let's try to add and subtract in Chinese number system or rock system without changing to our number system. Okay? So let's see here. I'll do one here. So let's try C small a. Okay, C small a. So C is small a. I have 3, 7, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 8, and 1. We add this one. So we now convert that to our number system first, before we just use the Chinese rod symbol to add it. Well, we know that. So this is, that's give you 5. That is a 10 to the 0, right? That's even powers. But also that's 7 plus 8 is what? 15. 15 should be 10 to the first, so 15 should be right on 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then you carry 1. Okay, let's see. We have 6. No, 3, 6, right? 6 is in 10 to the second power. That's even, right? In the 100th place. So 6 is this one. So that is the answer. Without conversion, okay? You can do that. Any question here, comments? No? All right, let's try another example, then I'll move on to a different section, two different topics. Okay, let's say we have, let's try C, letter C again, with okay, C, small c. Big C here, and small c. Okay, we have 6, 2, 2. Okay, subtract from 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Okay, subtract it. Okay, now again, I don't want to convert it yet. Okay, I just use the Chinese rod symbol to subtract in this case. So the first is 10 to the 0. That's even power 10, right? The 0 even power 10, which means 4 minus 2 is 2. Now here, 2 is smaller than 3, so it's borrow 1 from this place here. We just give 1 here, so that becomes 12 now. So I change that to 5. Okay. So 12 minus 3. So what do you get? 12 minus 3. Anyone can help me out? So 12 minus 3. Help me out, please. 12 minus 3 is what? 12 minus 3 is 9, right? So it should be 10 to the first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 9. 12 minus 3 is 9. Okay, 9. Then again, this is 1, smaller than 7. You have to borrow 1 from this digit here, which is, I have, so this becomes 5, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that becomes 11 now. So 11 minus 7 give you what? 11 minus 7, help me out. Give you 4, right? So that is, this is 10 to the first, 10 to the 0, 10 to the first, 10 to the second, so it's 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's your answer. Okay. Question there, comments on the Chinese rod system. Okay. All right, I conclude my lecture on the Chinese rod system.